Watch this video and then we'll talk.
I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. Choosing to stay single just to avoid ever being hurt again by a bad relationship or one that doesn't work out isn't the answer. It's not gonna save you from heartbreak, because the only heart that you're breaking now is your own. You're choosing to live in fear than to be open and vulnerable for the possibility of love again.
Women stay single for a number of reasons, the least dangerous of which is heartbreak. And while I recognize that this bald man, who once again, what have I told y'all about the balds? I'm just leaving that there. But while I think that, unfortunately, I have no evidence of this, but I think that he was trying to give that advice to women. I think he was trying to give that advice to women. That's not our advice. We don't. He can offer it. We don't gotta touch it. We don't gotta touch it because we know better. And so I'm just gonna share some thoughts on all this. Also, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. If you're brand new here, I talk a lot about decentering men, child-free living. I'm also living in Spain right now, so there's a lot that's going on. But if any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. And now let's break down this bald nonsense. Men really think that a bruised ego or a broken heart is the worst thing ever when it comes to relationships. And they impose that false, you know what, it is their padded roomed reality, but they impose that feeling, that fear onto the rest of us. They're like, oh, she probably just doesn't want to date anymore because, she's been heartbroken and she doesn't want to do that again. Oh, she probably doesn't want to see me again because, I was too close to everything she wanted and she's just not ready to embrace everything that she needs because I'm what she needs. The life that I offer her is what she needs. There's a lot of men that just superimpose this garbage. And I don't think that once again, they have such a small concept of what it is like to live in fear of the realities of men when you are a non-man, that they don't, there's nothing of substance for them to hold on to within this conversation. And then when you get men's low pain tolerance into this conversation, it just further reiterates like they should not be giving this kind of advice. I made a video about, listen, I'm gonna post it right up here. Those pregnancy simulator videos or period pain simulator videos, I love watching them. They make me giggle, they make me tee hee hee because men can't handle pain, but we've all known this, right? But you take that into consideration. I'm just going to read from the handy dandy notebook because I don't want to mess this up. Men incorrectly assume that we are just as internally fragile as them while they are inflicting an unquantifiable amount of violence upon us. Period. Men are consistently like, oh, women are, they're so emotional. Oh, they're so delicate. Listen, and I'm delicate, but when men say it, they don't mean it the way that I'm saying it. Oh, women are so, they need to be protected and put in a box and not allowed to leave the house. And meanwhile, hold on. I know women that have had to flee from men in the middle of the night out of fear for their lives. I know women that have gotten beaten by the love of their life for years. I know men that have cheated on their wives, that have carried them in every way possible, including financially, and they still had a baby on her after over 10 years of marriage. I know men that's still like a woman, and let's not even get pregnancy into the midst of this because men are disrespectful to women that have pregnancy. Oh my God, like it's been 2 weeks. Why can't I have sex? When I was living back in the States, okay, this is tea time. So when I was living back in the States, I was living with my mom for a little bit as I was preparing for my transition here. And the neighbors upstairs, mind you, they had the loudest, most unfortunate sounding sex life. I wish I heard less, right? But she went and she gave birth to their second child, a beautiful baby, beautiful little Cabbage Patch baby. And 2 weeks after she gave birth, they were back at it again. Now here's the kicker. Never, when I say they were loud upstairs, he was loud upstairs. Her, silence. And every time that I just heard that rambunctious sounding, I'm like, that you don't even sound like you having fun. You don't sound like you want to be there. Arguably, you shouldn't be there because it's been 2 weeks and that man is on top of you again. And the cops also have to be called at some point with that family upstairs. Now, my mom didn't call them. I think that the wife called because there was some kind of dispute. I don't know. I wasn't there at that time. But these are the situations that I have and this is just like off the top of the dome. And men are concerned about heartbreak. Heartbreak, oh boo, who you? All I'm saying, this isn't all I'm saying, but one of the many things that I'm saying is that men are not going to war like they used to. They're not building things like they used to. They're not ooga boogaing in the way that they've needed to for a long time. You know, like sometimes they do just need to be out chopping trees. Not too many because deforestation, but sometimes they just need to ooga booga in a productive way. Like you could ooga booga buy a car and like fix the family vehicle. You could build cars. You can ooga booga and build a cabin somewhere, like a little vacation home. You could ooga booga and like fix the lawn, make a nice little fire pit for like us to do s'mores and stuff like that. There's so many productive ways to booga. And they're just heartbreak, talking about heartbreak. Oh, don't be single because of heartbreak. No, we're being single because our lives depend on it. The amount of hoops that men I've made a series. And I will tag it right up here. And I might continue with the series talking about the things that happen in different realms of the animal kingdom, that when it comes to the mating process, the vetting process between female and male animals, from lions to birds to fish to like there are specific and intensive vetting processes when it comes to picking a partner, possibly to procreate, generally to procreate with, but also just for the sake of whether it's community or resources, safety, whatever it is, right? There's a very intense vetting process that varies from species to species, and it does often involve the male ooga boogaing in their specific way. A productive way of boogaing. And they just whether, I think y'all are hearing what I'm saying. And I'm just gonna rub this part of my forehead until the rage goes down. So if you have any thoughts, please type them in the comment section. And I'll talk to y'all later. All right, bye-bye.